Welcome back to West Texas View.
I know that the Odessa Chamber of Commerce has just done a fabulous job with their mission, but they also, and one of the things we didn't talk with Lynn about last week, is that they partner with chambers in other communities to do something for the overall good of the whole Permian Basin. But you do that for tourism also, don't you?
Yes, we do. One of the things that comes to mind when you say that is annually there is a dinner in Austin, and we get together with a lot of other CVBs, other chamber members, and we invite the people that we work with on a regular basis to sit down. It's called the Unity Dinner, and again, it's the Texas Travel Industry Association that puts that on, and we sit down with them, and it's a way to say thank you, and a way to say, hey, we can all work together. We all want people to travel to our destinations.
But you also are working with them when you're doing trails, like they have to go through Big Spring, Abilene and Big Spring and Midland to get to Odessa, or the other direction. They have to come through Pecos and Monahans. And so it only makes sense that you're working with them, hand out our brochures in your hotels. Know that when a person is traveling this way, there's something to stop at every place for. So you're working really hard for each other as well as for yourself individually. Now let's talk about how you stand out.
I think Odessa stands out again for our culture, the nostalgia, and just how hard we work for our meeting planners, for our sports groups, how hard we work to bring them in, and that makes us kind of stand out. We are happy to share what we have. You know, we want to give you brochures. We want to help make everything that you do exactly what you want it to be. We want you to have the perfect conference. We want you to have the perfect sports event. We want you to have just everything just easy. We don't want you to work that hard when you come. We just want to make every step just a piece of cake for you. And that gives us, in that little Texas smile and that little happy attitude and kick in our step, it sets Odessa out.
But you know, you almost have to have staff members that are jacks of all trade, because when they're working with the girls softball association, that's completely different than working with a music group or working with somebody at the Performing Arts Center to get a busload of people out.
Every group has its personality, and every convention group, every sports group, and we in our department have a whole set of personalities. You know, we have my position, state association cells. We have sports and SMRF cells, which SMRF is your social, military, education, CMER, religious and fraternal. You have that whole group. So you have a personality dealing with all of those. We have our everything media person. We have our director who does a lot of the tourism stuff. We all have our own little niche, and we love what we do. I joke with our media person, I'm glad you have your job. You're really good at it.
And I'm glad I have mine.
I love my sales job. You know, I like to think I'm halfway good at it. So it takes it all, and that amount of camaraderie that we have, and that amount of love that we have for each other and for what we do and for our city, I think it kind of stands out. I think I like to think that we have the personality that people will want to come and see.
But you use a lot of volunteers, don't you?
Oh my goodness, yes. We couldn't do it without them. I personally have a group that I handle, and they're called the Pros, which stands for People Representing Odessa Smiles. They are in their 26th year, and I still have a couple of original members of this particular group, and they help us with things from helping with registration at events, at the conferences. They help us stuff envelopes. They help with the chamber mailings. They help just, if I call them and say, can you come stamp these envelopes for me? They'll come and do that for us.
Or they come and help greet people at the door.
They do. They serve as greeters. They're absolutely incredible. And the sports group has what they call their sports committee. They help with the West Texas relays, which are coming up. They will hand out brochures, sell tickets,
timing and
everything. They get out there and they really work hard too. And so it takes a nice big rounded group effort. And I tell you, without those chamber girls.
So how, if I wanted to volunteer, how would I go about it?
Give me a call.
Okay.
I have a place for you.
Okay, great.
I can put you to work.
And if man or woman, if you said, I'd like to volunteer with the sports area, or I'd like to volunteer when it's the theater,
Right.
kinds of things,
Right.
then you'll help direct them that. And again, this is a great way for people that are just moving into the community that doesn't know anybody to immediately have a network of friends and acquaintances to spring from. But we cannot leave this subject without talking about the bus tours. As a senior citizen, I am very familiar with the bus tours, and I know that all the people talk about Odessa and what you do with the bus tours. So lead us through, when a bus hits Odessa, what do you do?
When they get here, you jump on board and you clap and you tell them howdy. You're so glad they're here, and you really are, and you make friends with them. You learn each one of them, you learn their personalities, and then you take them everywhere. You work them to death. Let's get on, let's get off, let's get on, let's go look at this. And we show them exactly what Odessa is. I like to share the history of Odessa. There's a lot of the history of Odessa that many people don't really know. The founding fathers of Odessa many, many years ago, a couple of dudes from Ohio, came down, of course, farming, ranching, railroad, this sort of thing. It didn't work out too well for them because I don't think they really were too familiar with our climate here. And so they sold off, went home. They had experience in oil. If they had waited around 2 years, they would have seen a little bit different. They would have seen it explode. We like to share those stories with our visitors and on our bus tours. We just love them, shower them with all kinds of information, let them see what it's all about, let them feel the excitement that we have and see what it is that we love.
But essentially, you have already worked with the bus tour group, and you know kind of what they are really interested in.
Exactly.
So you're taking them, I mean, there's no way you can take them to every single thing. So you're pretty much tailoring, and you might do 3 buses with 3 different routes.
Right. We could do anything from like a museum tour to taking them out to one of the ranches and having an open flame wiener roast or barbecue or you know, steaks and potatoes, whatever.
Oh, Lawanna, I'm just so impressed with your enthusiasm and also with the information you gave me, and I hope everybody has taken down her number and will give her a call next week and say, I want to volunteer. It's been a pleasure to have you, and we'll have another program about economic development by the Odessa Chamber of Commerce next Sunday. See you then.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.